So we all know that investors can't buy homes themselves using the FHA 203K, but does that mean they're left on the sidelines when it comes to applying the power of our favorite renovation loan? Absolutely not. Get the word out to your investor friends that you can help them take advantage of an amazing opportunity for them to make a great return on properties in distressed condition across America. What's also exciting is that this strategy allows you to build an ongoing pipeline of business that may have never occurred to you before. This investor opportunity is an idea I came up with several years ago. I call it the white box strategy, and I've shared this with thousands of real estate professionals, lenders, and investors since then. Let's take a quick look at this idea. We know that the very best buys on homes are typically properties in need of some serious repair and renovation, and these are the properties most investors are purchasing. Today, most of these great deals are REO properties, the majority of which are simply not in well-maintained move-in condition. Of course, the investor's next step is to go through the process of making repairs and improvements to get the home back on the market. The challenge for investors, however, is that it takes additional time and additional capital to make these improvements. On top of that, there's always the risk that the colors and styles chosen by the investor may not meet the tastes of prospective buyers. Although making these improvements is intended to make the home more desirable, it can often backfire and have the opposite effect. Even when the buyer is reasonably satisfied with the work that's been done, they often desire additional improvements to make the home really meet their tastes and needs. So an important key for investors is recognizing that the 203K becomes a highly desirable option to open the sale of these homes to many more buyers. Although the FHA prohibits investors from using a 203K themselves for a home purchase, you and your investor clients can introduce buyers to the 203K as a great way for them to buy these properties. My white box approach works like this. Rather than spending the time and money to make all the improvements, the investor can quickly and easily have a contractor come in and clean out the house. In the process, rip out the bad stuff, ugly flooring, cabinets, appliances, and so on. Then make any fundamental repairs like minor electrical or plumbing issues, maybe something like a roof leak. Next, simply patch the drywall and spray paint the entire inside of the house white. So now you have a white box, a blank palette, almost like an unfinished new home in an established neighborhood. The investor can now turn around and put the home back on the market almost immediately. And what's compelling to buyers is that instead of paying for colors, finishes, flooring, and other improvements chosen by the investor, they can instead spend that money on the colors, finishes, and details they like most. Using the 203K, buyers get more of the home they want, and investors turn their investments more quickly and easily. Everyone wins. The great news is that both investors and buyers turn to you as the expert to make this all happen. Think of the business you can build using the white box strategy. You can help investors find and buy the right homes at the right price in the right locations, then bring in buyers and earn additional commissions facilitating their purchase of these homes. You could be running 203K consumer seminars to build a pipeline of buyers and working with investors to build the pipeline of homes for these buyers to buy. Now, how's that for a business building opportunity? While other agents sit around waiting for the phone to ring, you can get started immediately building a real business. So how do the numbers work? Well, if you spend a few minutes running through some real-world examples, you'll find that investors can typically enjoy the same profit margin, or at least very close to it. Instead of the investor adding the cost of improvements into the purchase, these costs are built into the 203K mortgage by the buyer. The appraised value of the home should be in the same ballpark, regardless of who's making the improvements. If the buyer chooses more substantial improvements, this would be reflected as the 203K appraiser reviews the actual scope of work and bids to help determine the completed value. Something else to consider regarding the appraisal is that the 203K brings an additional advantage. Remember, the FHA allows the lender to use 110% of the completed value of the home for a 203K. This means that there's an additional margin that helps hold these deals together, compared to buyers using a conventional mortgage to purchase a move-in ready home. And as you're well aware, that additional 10% margin on the appraisal can make all the difference in today's market. So I hope this makes sense to you. I know thousands of other real estate professionals are excited about pursuing this strategy. I'm sure you'll agree this is yet another example of how REbuildUSA, Lowe's, and our 203K specialists can deliver solutions that benefit many different folks in many different ways.